Last but not the least, Dickfinity. Okay. Make sure that's connecting. Come on. Work with me here, pal. Hey, Rocky. There you go. Give me a moment. I am setting things up. Alright, the live is good and proper. Now, we close any and every unnecessary window. I think we're good. What do you know? As for TikTok chat, maybe there's nobody chatting just yet. Can you hear me? I expect you can. It's not hooking up, is it? Hello, Rice. Okay. So TikTok chat is not updating. What's new? Hey, Mystique. I'm glad to have you here on stream. Just making sure everything's working as they should. Oh, what a lovely set of photographs. What the motivator to do good in tonight's stream. Okay. TikTok chat is not updating. So be it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, hello everyone. Rice Spice, Bobbert the Potato, Pyro Husky, Angel Dust, the Administrator Sammy Rocky Day, and Chris. Hello, Delta. Also, Joe, Susie, Kira. Oh, the window's kinda high, huh? Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Hey, Axiom, how are you? I'm sorry about yesterday. I was running on fumes during the latter part of our hangout. I probably should have just slept earlier. It's rare to find me in a low energy state. That is indeed Joe. The Joe. Let's see how long I can last in this world before having to reconnect. You should probably sleep. Or you can tune into my streams until you drift off, Axiom. I think everything's a bit too high. My microphone, my overlays. Oh, 4 minutes into stream, and there's so much support, so much likes, and so much of you watching. Greetings. If it's your first time here, hi, I'm Gib. I mostly host low energy, conversation style streams. You can just have me open in the background, as usual. Or you can move past and find another guy you wanna watch. If chaos is your fancy. Like Wolf over here in chat. Hey Wolf, sorry about yesterday. I was running on fumes. I was pretty much half awake during the later 30 minutes of our hangout. Axiom, I hope you recover soon. Please get well. It would make me sad if you're sick. Come back, Mike. I'm a Nova Beast, Harrison. Thanks for the coins. Oh, this time I made sure I had ample amount of sleep. I recharged for a good 7 hours and a half. I think. Hey, Kira. Thanks for the cap. Same here. I'm terrible at math. I replace the coin every now and then. Every couple 10,000 flips. And I use a new, well, copy. Oh, you got kicked off. It must have been a mistake. We were cleaning out people who didn't type into the introductions. Um, Gail, if you're there, can you please take care of Mio's little issue? It may have been accidentally included in the list. That's terrible. My apologies. I'll see you around, Kira. Sounds like you're in for a rough day, given that weather. Don't be scared. It was for transparency. It was Jay who was handling the kicking earlier. I was prepping for a stream during that discussion. I just told him, hey, remember a little rule about 24 hours and not typing in their intros. I know you introduced yourself, so you should be okay. I'm from Germany. It's getting dark. Oh my. Hello, Kiyoki. Connor. No. You don't see a little circle on my forehead that glows, right? Jay, my assassin. I'm talking about my Discord team. He's just dedicated to his job, but he's a little caught up with real life events, so forgive me if he's been having a bit of confusion with the names. Oh, Mike, you want me to say something embarrassing right off the bat? Is it an animation? No, I'm in VR chat. I just have face tracking. Guys, team, make it a priority to get Mio back in. Please and thank you. We can't have one of our more. He's been so supportive of my streams. Thank you, game. With that being said, hi. Motion sickness. Not really. Maybe during the first week or two. But now, I'm pretty used to it. Hello, Night Shift. Ghosty, Abdeezer, Chris. And Gabe as well. No, thank you, Joe. I got mildly disoriented when I was on the blades. Again, everybody who's new, good day, good afternoon, or good evening. What country I'm from? Southeast Asia, the Philippines. Don't understand your question. That's why I'm unable to give you a precise answer.
Little tip
Thanks.
for the startee.
Oh, and we have our first kickoff. The initial motivator for the stream, much like firewood being chucked into the fireplace, to get the fire going. Thank you, Mio. Hmm. I'll see you around, Chris. Let's see if the other cameras are working. So pin 2, just like before, works pretty good. The bottles are all in place. Oh, you won't get muted as long as you behave. Ah, maybe a bit of adjustment in the angles. There. This should suffice. Say hello to Pobos in advance. Oh, the focus though. Maybe not such a shallow aperture. That's cam 3, cam 2, and camera 1. Mia, if you run into any trouble, feel free to message me, alright? I'll personally tend to your problems if it comes to Discord and the server. If I'm not streaming, that is. A signature fragrance. You see, I used to have this brand of perfume. I can't recall what it was. I've been using it for a couple of years. I ran out and I never got the chance to order another bottle. It's a type of perfume that you don't spray. You open the bottle, place it against your wrists, rub it together, put it on your neck, on your chest. The scent would last throughout an entire dinner or party's work. Yes, Joe, the bottles are indeed fine today. Hello, Liney. I need to move the interface. It's a bit too close. Lock. There we go. Uh-huh. There, grab it. There we go. Putting it further back so I don't look left and right as much. And lock. Flying. Turn off. Good. Hmm. Oh, a hydrate. Sorry about that, donkey. Give me a moment. Beans. So early into the stream, and the discussion about beans is immediately on the table. Lucky we don't have Roxy here on stream at the moment. She'd probably foam in the mouth. H2O. It's always good. The way to a furry's heart is through beans. Is that so? Okay, Rocky. So be it. Am I British? No. Southeast Asian. From the Philippines. To be fair, the music is a bit loud. Let's go to the next track. Yes, I do, Mandy. Cool, isn't it? Well, thank you for the flattery, art design. Hello, Void. Yo, I owe you a redeem for hydration. Is that so? Gonna make sure I take an extra sip during the next time someone does redeem. Just for you. Yes, Mandy, I do have full body. As you can see. I just prefer to stream while sitting down. No, not at all. Tostincel. In fact, I take it as a compliment. Whenever people fall asleep with my stream in the background, it means they find my content relaxing. Or maybe it's boring. That still plagues my head. And then again, if it was boring, they could have simply swiped up and watched another streamer. Ah, Celeste wants to join me. Unfortunately, I'm in a PC-only world.
I want to apologize for panicking, but I'm already like it, so I apologize.
And don't worry about it, Mio. Hey, you support me in my streams. That kindness you give means I'm gonna take care of you back. You're good in my books. Ah, hello, Flawed. Delta Wolf. Wonder. Hello, DJ. You know, I think I need to put my light blockers on. It's rather bright on my right. Is it? This is left. What are you looking at? You're staring at the person who's staring back. A streamer that focuses on conversing with chat. Tiggle says a detective roleplay would be cool. What case you gonna solve, Gil? Oh my, Tiggle. So you wanna proceed to role-playing this time? I see. I hope the design is good, Pearl Kun. I'm more of a dragon Christian. It's right there in chat, Tiggle. I mean, it's via chat after all. Anything goes in this digital landscape of ours. JD, thank you for the confetti. I appreciate the support. Irene, Nanashia Valley. Oh, it's going okay. Getting a bit of glare from the right. Maybe I just need to turn it off. Tostincel. Did I say that correctly? Am I Mexican? No. To answer your question, Mandy, yesterday I was in VR chat for around 10 or 11 hours. So on average, half a day. The longest I've been in was, I think, 20 hours straight, barring snacks and bathroom breaks. You see, sometimes conversations can just go so well, the flow of time starts to become really blurred. You'll know I like you when you don't notice the hours ticking by, and you're still sticking around, and so am I. Sure. Take your time. My favorite kind of music is just like your name. Chill. Hello, Tobias. It does indeed look better on Twitch. You get to see the whole stage that I'm in. Not only the character in the center of the screen. I see. Thank you, Alastor. Or should I say not Alastor? I'm good, Lucho. Just passing the time by talking with all of you in chat. Am I a cop? Oh, no. I'm an explorer. But I do look like I have a badge, huh? Oh, Toast in Cell. Never mind, it seems the link worked. Amazing. You see, every time I stream, one or two viewers will ask, what do you think about Therians? My opinion goes to any group of people or culture, as long as you're not harming anyone. You're good to me. Why, thank you, Delta. Oh. Mystique is starting the subscription drain, sending one to the community. Thanks. What places have I explored? Predominantly landscapes that are rather dry, the desert, a certain monolith in the middle of nowhere, an abandoned school, an old temple, a mysterious oasis, an island that is somehow aloft in the sky, and many much more. I'm good, Maury. Do I make avatars? I only made one from scratch, and well, that's for myself. But if you're asking if I do commissions, no, I don't. Uh-huh. Hello, Tobias. It seems like you got a subscription. You have to thank Mystical Aurora over here at chat. I hope you enjoy the emotes. Tobias, I'm not sure if you got it or not, but I'm from the Philippines. It's Southeast Asia. This is terrible. I'm not even half an hour in on stream and the pangs of hunger are starting to roar in my tummy. I should have listened to my friend and made the pre-stream snack. But that would have consumed too much time. I already started rather late. It's 3:34. I usually start at 2:30. The body tracking. I'm not gonna stand up, but I will show you this other camera of mine. Hi. Full body tracking. Courtesy of Slime VR. The dogs. You mean this? Normally that's a redeem, you know. Say hello, Wales. He's still on camera. Chat affectionately calls this Hobus. Hello, Chase. Can I breathe fire? Yes, I can. But I'm not gonna do it in the office. Wouldn't want to singe any of the paperwork now, wouldn't I?
I hope I get some bonus for being kicked. Just kidding.
No, that depends, Mio. You know how to persuade me. It didn't. Nothing popped up, Tigo. Oh my. Let me double check my email to make sure that went through. It'd be sad if what you sent didn't count. Oh, I did see it. Yep, that is your email. The name that starts with the letter N. What was your message? Don't worry. I'll read it. Especially if it's you, Tiggle. my doing to the in-house Phobos. Phobos is doing quite alright, and so is the guy attached to him. I feel like I'm secondary to my gosh darn boss. An Apple VR headset? Oh, no. It's a little too expensive for what it provides. Hello, Crimson user. If it isn't Shoki. The Explorer's outfit looks good in this map, does it not? I wonder if you're gonna work on another outfit for a Nova Beast. Maybe like a suit. Something more apt. Welcome to the stream, Chalky. The Explorer's outfit, of course recolored by me, but made by Polygon Studios. In particular, I really like the brooch. It's free too. Sly Cooper. You mean the raccoon thief? I'm doing quite alright. Thank you for your concern. Let's swap back. I'm still surprised that there's over 100 people tuning in to my content as of late. Is it perhaps the music that you like? The feel? The atmosphere? Or dare I say, the things I talk about? Ooh, Valerie starting off the coin train. You have my thanks, friend. I appreciate the support. Thanks, Jockey. Jockey, how much would it cost to commission something like a trench coat or a suit? Something that'll suit this atmosphere even more. Let's not forget about the hat. Jalen, that's a little high. Nika, I will grant your request, even for a whole 30 seconds instead of 10. Before the stream ends. Keep me posted. I'm awfully excited about the things you make. Very high quality. I wear them proudly. Oh my. A fedora. That too. Right now I look like a badly dressed superhero in some B-rate movie. Or maybe not. What's the name of that thing? Where Dr. Manhattan was in it.
Do a smaller bonus at the end of the stream.
If it isn't you, Kakaruj. And Mia really wants to redeem that special little something I do. I see. Who knows, you might get it. Hello, hyena. Gaming. What else did I miss? We've been working like crazy for Virality and now VCAT. Oh, right. Excuse me. You're working on another thing. I'm sure you got it. Thank you. And so the jitter starts to appear. 35 minutes in, a quick rejoin to the world should solve it. I hope you don't mind. You're gonna see the thing again. Be right back in a couple of seconds. Yes. The glaring blue. The vast emptiness that is before you. The void before being able to walk into the worlds of your choosing. And we're back. This time, lag free. That's okay. Thank you, Jay. Just place my couch back where it should be. I can actually explore different angles. That's it. This works. Change it up a little bit for now. But I like your suggestion, says Chalky. That's true. That'd be super cool if you would. You see, the amount of outfits that are available on Gumroad for the Nova Beast are... well, they're lacking in diversity. For me. More than half of them are catering more towards the urban, modern outfits. I'm glad you actually made the Explorers one. It suits so well with the character I'm playing. I'll see you around, Tobias. You too, Gaiman. Make sure you don't lose it all in one go. Okay, Peppermint. Enjoy your stay on Twitch. I'm gonna lean back. My head is shaking because I am fixing my sitting posture. There. Oops. And I hit my headset. That must have looked funny. My angles still work. Yep. Oh, not anymore. A bit forward. There. Nothing a little adjustment can't fix. There we go. Perfect. Where was I?
That's a case that winds through the darkness like a sunbeam.
Oh dear. It seems someone wants to fund my very own private eye agency. That's quite the amount, Toast. You have to give me a nickname so I can thank you properly. I'm still having trouble pronouncing your proper name. Tostincel. Tostincel. Tosti. Well, Tosti. This one gives you his gratitude. I appreciate the support. That is quite the heavy purse that you've just shared. I'll remember this. Thank you, Linny. I apologize. Whenever somebody supports me, especially with, well, something I wouldn't exactly call cheap, I make it a point to thank them. Yeah, Axioma. Now I just need to receive it 40 more times, and then maybe I can get the hardware that you're getting. It's okay. I consider myself incredibly lucky to be graced by generous patrons like you guys. I still don't know what I'm doing, that's right. But thank you. Tosti. I shall imprint that name. Wow. Is somebody starting a train of saying hi? Wardatsu says the wolf wanted to make a stream with you, I think. Oh, I was with Wolf yesterday, but I was running really low on energy. I was pretty much just slouching on a couch while he was dancing and clanging metal pipes around. I don't remember much. Mm-hmm. Well, I have a Twitch account that you can follow, of course. My Twitch is the same as my TikTok. And so is my Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Wolf taught me a dance. Good for you, Tiga. Thank you. Oh dear. Subscribe for 6 months in a row. Don't worry. I plan on making content. Well, not making content, but streaming 6 times a week. Until, well, I don't know, until the end of time. I don't see myself as being one of those streamers that drops off the face of the earth after being on camera after a few months. For you see, I have all the time in the world to do this. Such is the perks of not having a day job. If I'm not here on TikTok or on Twitch, I'm mostly on my Discord. A Discord that you can join if you're 18 and above. I love interacting with my community there. A bunch of really nice and interesting individuals. If you want to see my Discord, head on over to my Twitch and type !Discord and you will get the link that you seek. I see. That I understand. Much like viewers like you gracing my stream, I've been blessed with time, and that's why I've decided to, well, do this. Share me being idle around with a bunch of people that want to hang around. Hang around. I was about to say hang about. I'm not good at English, I'm sorry. I try. One of the bigger goals of my stream was offering content that's different from most. I don't exactly see a lot of people just sitting around and doing nothing and, well, taking conversations to a somewhat personal level with chat without having to flaunt a lot of skin. No, what is it? How do I read your name? Let me adjust my thing. Windows. How do I make this larger? There we go. Mwah. Look, I think this is a better angle. Ooh, a hype train. Incredible. We literally can't hear you. You're losing aura by the second. But I can see my microphone going up and down. Let's see. Double checking. It would be a problem if what you're saying is true. Okay. Waffle Zaza, you know my answer. Ooh, I see bits and community subs. So thank you, Yeli. I don't know if that's an I or an L. That's concerning. I heard something rather creepy to my left. It's like someone was yelling and it got cut off. It's just me in this room though. There's no Joe today. Concerning. Enjoy your lunch, Rocky. I'm gonna go drink some water. Cause Blooper Rag here redeemed the hydrate. Where am I from? Again, the Philippines. It's a little country in Southeast Asia. Alright, the extra sip. Fine. There. That's 2 hydrate redeems for 1. I hope you're happy, champ. What part of the Philippines? Does it matter though? Hello, Jimmy. Toasty says it's been nice to be able to get to know you in this life. I hope the rest of my time will be nice with you. You make it sound so tragic, as if you're gonna disappear within the next day. Don't worry. I'm sure we'll see each other more often from now on. Thank you again, Mystique. Hello, Mycelium. No, Mycelium. Is that how I read your name? Beastars? Oh, no, not yet. Surprisingly. I haven't exactly been able to catch up with a bunch of shows, let alone anime. I've been wanting to watch Konosuba, the new season, as well as Mashle. Ah, yes. The question if I am in a relationship or not. What do you think, Chad? Do I look like the type who's wearing a leash tethered to one particular person? Jack says, nah. Thanks, Jimmy. Ah. Another gift sub. Ever so gracious, Toasty. Oh my. Thank you, May. Where am I from? Somebody asked that a minute ago. The Philippines. You know, surprisingly so, Delta. I actually am. Oh dear. More subscriptions are coming in. Thanks, Nick. Didn't I see you yesterday? I think they did. Mio and Toasty here, especially Mystique, has just been tossing coins. Thank you, Matthew. And for the likes too. I'll take that as a compliment, La Sombra. I guess I just got lucky. I'm able to be myself. Sorry if I sound a little different. I'm actually leaning back into my chair. It's easier on my back this way, especially my rather sore shoulders. Hello, Stinky Bean. If you were a detective, Gebos, what kind of mysteries would you solve? Asked Stigo. Probably the intricate questions of one's heart. Oh my. Somebody wants the train to keep on rolling. Incredible. What am I gonna do? All of you are so generous. You see, back then, generosity was a rarity towards me. Oh. So, this is quite some taking used to. Well, I'm just glad you guys are having a good time. Sit back, relax, converse. That's true. My blue fireball. Oh, that. You see, I'm in an enclosed environment. There's nothing to tickle my nose. But unfortunately, once I go back out into the field, that's bound to happen. Especially in the desert. A nice bonus at level 3. Oh my. Okay, Blue Parag is redeeming bad life advice. 4. What should I do when a girl breaks up with me? You go for their mom. She's probably finer too, just like aged wine. Watch out for the husband though. But then again, you aren't considered a thief if you aren't caught in the first place. Mm. I'll see you, Toasty. Thank you for gracing me with your ever so important time. I'll see you around. My blue fireball. It's still there, Nika. I didn't know you liked it when I had colds. How am I doing? I'm actually really happy. We had Toasty here who passed by and just decided to shower my stream with gifts, start a hype train, and then succeeded by Mio tossing and the support every now and then, like a metronome. And then we have Mystic. Look at all those subs. I'm flattered. Mildly overwhelmed, but in a good way. Thank you. Diggle is still here, I see. This time it's an anonymous gifter. Oh my. Wonder who that is. Hello, Roxy. It seems you've missed quite a number of clippable moments. I've been saying things with actual substance in stream for the past hour. Thanks, Yoon. I chose this playlist in particular. I wonder who it could be. Hello, crew. I'm not gonna read the rest of your name. It's a bunch of jumbled letters. It's okay. I have a favorite song. You know what? I actually do. Go to Spotify. There's an artist called Dosii, Dosii, and they have this particular track. It's called Fairy of Shampoo. I know, don't let the name mislead you. It pretty much is, Nick. To be precise, it's a Nova Beast. I'm okay, Alicia. Thanks for asking. Nah, if it isn't Caden. You seem to be a familiar name. A cigar? No. No. I don't condone the usage of tobacco. It affects your teeth badly, your lungs, your breath, and your kissing ability. Nobody likes kissing an ashtray. I'm not sure. Some say it's because sometimes I roll my R's. Yeah, it's gross, isn't it, Misty? I once had a really pretty lady companion before. I decided, you know what? Strike a conversation with this gal. Skip over to the good part where the smooches were happening. Let's just say that's the last time that happened. A MetaQuest Pro is what I'm using. I don't know what Tame Impala is, but I do know that I am thirsty at the moment. Thanks for liking the colors. Music. I just drank some water, Grim Assassin. Was a bit parched. It seems Diggle really likes my rolled R's. And this one will remember this. A MetaQuest Pro. What's wrong with rolling R's? I actually try not to roll my R's, but more often than not, it still happens. Where's my nose? Can you not see the two slits above my mouth? Impala, I see. Sure, I'll look into it, Caesar. I see. It seems like I've been exerting effort for nothing. I always thought trying not to roll my R's is the proper way of speaking. Okay. My stream is like a movie. I see. I am rather trying to enforce a rather comfortable and cinematic atmosphere. It's very alluring. Tiggle, you keep up the flattery, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Hmm. Where's Joe? He's probably doing Joe things. He's not here at the moment. What do I do for a living? Jobs that don't involve being inside a cubicle. Oh, somebody sent a crown. Patience is a virtue, Delta Wolf. You'll get in eventually. In fact, it's plus points for me that you're honoring the rules. I know a lot of people want to get in. And even if they do find a server, not everybody's actually able to become a full member of the Shadow Guild. Such a simple test, really. It's merely 2 words. And then you have the password right. Butter beans. I'll take that as a compliment. Can you give me advice on how to unlove someone, Gib? Asks Yoon. Simple. Open yourself to flirting with another person. You'll realize that love and attraction is just predominantly chemicals and processes running in your brain. What's this? I wish I could redeem the points to hear the rolling R's. Let's just call it the Khajiit voice. I can try, just for you. For the next 5 minutes, I shall attempt to speak in a manner that I know you find pleasing. Where does one acquire the coin? Simple. Merchandise and wares. Let me go sit properly. Slouching is no good. There. Your childhood. English or Spanish? English. Oh, was that a trap? And I fell right into it. Thank you for catching that, Gale. To be fair, the person was asking about something relevant to what I'm doing. Rolling R's and putting a bit of an intonation into the way I'm speaking does give me a bit of a Spanish tone. This one is lucky to have assassins like you watching his back. I'll see you around, puny guy. Shoot. How about you? Look for yourself. Hello. It is I, the shoeless. Didn't know I had a terrible camera angle. Hold on. How do I fix this? There. A little better. Did you know here in Texas in America, at the Alamo Memorial Site in San Antonio, they sell these dollar-sized gold-like coins that ping really well when flipped similar to yours, says Delta Wolf. I see. I'll see you around. Smooth. Sports. Does motocross count? Or enduro? I am into motorcycling after all. Moaning? What do you mean? Tobias, that is mildly concerning. You see now, me trying to recover my naturally rolled R's feels unnatural. Because I've been trying really hard to like not roll them. Roll. See, they roll. It's still hot there. Sounds like Another dip into the pool. Sounds like a good idea. Thank you. I see. Lacrosse. It sounds like a rich man's sport. Admiring. I see, so that's what it is. The gold wing pin on my jacket is what you call the explorer's brooch. Ah, you plead the fifth. You're still a criminal in my eyes. I saw what you were doing with my ears. Holding it, tugging it while I was unaware. Putting it in certain places. My favorite color is probably the one you see on screen. Preferably with more gilded gold. Hello, Aiden. I'm okay. I am entertained by my chat over at Twitch. That's true, Tiggle. It's okay to admire people. It's all about semantics, the wording that's gonna save you from trouble. Hello, Foxy. Olivia. Dakota. And I'll see you around as well. You have a good day. Welcome back, Rocky. You are indeed all rather smooth criminals. Roxy, Tiggle, and now I guess Mystic is part of the roster. These eyes of mine can read you guys like a book. It's not silver, it's actually gold. Have a closer look, if the camera allows it. Being swayed by a gift. Oh, but I am doing nothing.
An interesting.
Oh. My oh my. An anonymous $5 tip. Thank you, mysterious stranger. I have no idea. So it was Mio. I see. Oh, so Roxy has wonderful lung capacity and she's great with her mouth. Playing that saxophone. So we have someone who's good at music, and we have the ex-gymnast. Very interesting party. Oh. Indeed. Each their own specialty. The one that bends, the one that blows, and the third. We have yet to see what special skill set Mystique has. All of these skills, once combined, surely can crack even the toughest of safes. And I'm not just talking about the metal kind you find in bags. Small army of bean. But I don't want to be recruited to anything. Conscription is a terrible thing. Oh, don't worry, Delta. We're just a bunch of adults. Throwing rather spicy jabs at the air. That's all in the name of good fun. Well, I am very much amused, Nika. I hope you enjoy Stardust. Roxy needs juice. Roxy needs juice. Ah, and so Mystic is very good at building things. She's very hands-on. Interesting. Now we have all three of them profiled. Ah. You know what? I'm gonna indulge you because I need to reload the world. Every hour I have to rejoin because there seems to be a memory leak. It's killing my FPS. Okay. World rejoin. And then I'll stand up and do a little something. It should be quick. Now see you around, Yun. Yes, a little something. How to do this? For you. I'll do. You got it. You got it. That. I guess it's time to sit. I hope you're satisfied, chat. I was indeed far away. I thought Geb was short. No, I think I'm above average in length. No, not length. The vertical height. I'm 185 centimeters tall. If that answers your curiosity. Smoking is indeed bad for your health. Hmm? Why the blushy faces, Chan? What did I say this time? Head over there. Usual. Here. The pause in the eye. What do you mean? I see. An hour and a half into stream, and we seem to be doing good. I agree with what Tiggle said. Oh, you mean the thing? It was a redeem on Twitch, and I just gave it again for free. Mhm. Hello, Artistocat. It seems you like the vibes that we're having. Welcome to the stream. Of course, you know I like you, Tingo. The edits you make, Tingo. Now, to be fair, my slip up is also true. I would be lying if I said I didn't. You're all so nice. How could I not like you? When is my birthday? It was last month. Hmm. Congrats on following for an hour and 9 minutes, Blooper. Is that your perception of me? How do I even say your name? Sansha. There's no A. It's just SNSHA. You know, Tingle, one of the ways I cool down quickly is if I stand on top of a fan, lift up my shirt, and just let it blow directly. The wind blows up my neck and out into my arms. That's pretty fun. What do we have here? Another streamer who's just reading chat, flipping a coin with some good music in the background. A cinematic view, an atmosphere that's relaxing. Melted butter. Too cold. So you want just the perfect temperature. Which is... I'll stop myself there. Sasha. Got it. Gajita swears if you have coin. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, is that an invitation, Tingle? Make sure to hydrate, chat. Don't hyperfixate on who and what you're watching. Friendly reminder. Oh, you're right, Dragon Brother. That's quite the amount of likes. I don't know, Sasha. I think I sound pretty terrible. Surprising I'm getting compliments about my voice. What language is PH? It's called Tagalog. You see, speaking of Tagalog, I've been teaching a bunch of my friends some phrases. Let's not talk about what Tiggle wanted me to say. No, rather wanted me to teach her to say. To a certain Gale. Why do I sound like a voice actor? Actually, I'm not one. I don't have any professional experience. Nobody has ever hired me. Nor have I really applied. Let's get some practice. The pool might turn into a hot tub. To be fair, my aching muscles could use some hot water. Maybe a massage. Never say no to a massage. Admittedly, those things feel good, right? I always liked it when one of my friends would walk by as I was sitting down. And then she would give my shoulder some nice, slow squeezes. She just go like that. I would crane my head back like, as a reflex, like, oh, you're hitting the spot. You know what's funny? We actually became fast friends because of that. She was complaining that her hands were hurting. This was back in college. We were in an art school, you see. So she's been drawing all night. It's traditional art. Pencil on paper. The classic stuff. I saw her the next day. She was doing this. And I said, hey, you were working on that exercise of ours, weren't you? Give me your hand. And she did. A few squeezes later, and I could immediately see the relief in her face. She wasn't pulling her hand back, so I just kept on going. After that, well, I forget I'm on stream. My apologies. Astra says, ow, my hand also suddenly hurts. I was just being nice. And surprisingly, she started reciprocating. So we became sort of massage buddies. We see each other. We try our best to sneak in without the other noticing, and then just go at it from the back. Like, I gotcha. Squeeze here, squeeze there. Elbow press here. It was a good time. Too bad she transferred. What's surprising about it is just someone massaging. Like, you see, during lunch breaks, I had lunch breaks as long as 3 hours, and sometimes our schedules would intersect when it came to that break time. She'd always find me on the 14th floor, which is where the canteen is. I'm either in my computer, drawing. And I would also find her on the 8th floor during her breaks. She'd be in the library. I would make it a point to try and make her, let's just say, make sounds and get her in trouble from the librarian. So she's reading her book. She's studying for an exam. And immediately I'd go in from behind. Squeeze. And I say, shh. It's me. She would have her mouth agape, but upon recognition of who it was behind her, she would do her best to keep quiet. A fun little game we used to play. Her futile efforts at making me make sounds unfortunately didn't work. She needed a bit more grip strength. Oh, I've been ignoring chat. What's happening? I'm seeing a lot of all caps. I like the story. It got my face red. From massaging. A little platonic touch and squeeze here and there. Hello, Stormwolf. Mateus? I know no void. Oh, if it isn't Doki. Hello there. Yes, Bloomer. Oh, poor Tingle. It seems like the weather has finally gotten to her. She stood up and gone to cool off. The summer heat is terrible after all. Hello, friend. Sure, I don't mind sharing stories. I wasn't opening up about my little friendly escapades because you guys never asked. After stream, how about we go at it? Oh, sorry, TikTok. I'm talking to Twitch chat. You see, Twitch can see you, but you can't see Twitch, given our rather limited screen real estate. Adorable. Absolutely adorable. Hallucinate. What form of trickery did your mind play on you? Don't worry, Tingo. Don't think. Just relax. Focus on the fan. The wind blowing against your skin. The relief.
Why do you sound like someone I would let everything be done by me? Even at Master Joe.
I don't know, Mio. All I can say is, I am both considerate, kind, and explorative. You see, I think labels just complicate things in life. I just let things happen naturally. Thank you, Nika. Little troublemaker in our chat. What is it, Astra? I just love. I can imagine the face Doggy is doing right now. Huh? Oh, Tingo. Didn't you have more than average stamina? Seeing as you were a gymnast before. And that's the whole point, you and I are buddies. And that new thing we're doing. I've seen you tire out and tap out during the half, but I'm sure you'll catch up and be able to do full sets soon. I'm talking about soaring fitness, by the way. I'll see you around. Thanks for hanging out during my stream. Toodles. A cold shower. Though true, it is good etiquette to shower before you enter the pool. Uh-huh. So Rock is good at swimming. Cool. That's funny, Yumiko. I actually found that really funny. But you're getting muted, my doggy. Oh, Zaki sent me coins and I didn't even notice. My apologies. Thank you. It just is. Why, thank you, Colt. And you too, Oni, for being supportive. If it isn't Cheech, you've been here my past couple of streams, haven't you? And also been really nice by sending me roses. Thank you. In the middle of a landing strip. Landing strip. Like the airplane. Airport. Pouring out more. What do you mean? I have yet to let anything out. When it comes to actual jokes. Good evening, Zoro. Doki, thank you. Seems we're having persistent trouble over a TikTok chat. Ah, thank you for the 2 bitties, and also for the confetti. Cheech being nice as always. Swimming. You see, I can swim just fine, but it doesn't mean I'm not afraid when I can't see what's below my feet. I know. It happens, Diggle. Good thing they're grown adults like you and I. And Mystique. And Roxy too. You see, Zoro, this is pretty much just the start of my day. And the best assassins around. That's true. Aren't my assassins just charming figures? Especially Gale and Nika. I like how each of them have such distinct character to them. And also, such strong loyalty to show. Okay, boy kisser. Ah, and if it isn't 096. But speaking of assassins, Rox here's an assassin in training. But so far she's been doing really well in my eyes. In various ways. Oh, thank you for that gold mine, sup, boys. An underwater welder. Good luck. High risk, but also a high paying job. Thank you. The fan isn't helping. No worry. There'll be water around us soon enough. After the camera stops rolling. Also, thank you for the subscription. Oh, it was Mystic who gave it. Oh my. Hello, Dina, Spider Tomato. And everybody who has been mashing the like button over at TikTok. I appreciate the support being given. Welcome to Twitch, where the frames are high and the view is wide. Oh no, Tigo. That's bad. Worst comes to worst. You can... I don't think I can say it on stream. But it involves having more surface area for the cold air to work on. Hello, Bounce. Micah. Oh, in case you didn't get it. Before, when I didn't have an AC and the sweltering heat was just getting a little heavy to bear, I would just take off my shirt. Nothing but me and my boxers at home. It was pretty convenient. Nice and refreshing. Oh, a sundress. And a sundress only. Pretty. Just playing. Ah. It's a 99 today. I wonder how it is tomorrow. Oh, I'm very much aware, Zoro. That's true. It's time to drink. Everybody, let's put some fluid in our throat. Honestly, there's no harm in being practical when it comes to managing temperatures. Take off what you need to take off. Hello, Ball, and Rainbow Galaxy as well. Hello. Go on. Also, hello, Juan. Liz. Sure, calling me Kuya or, in English, Big Brother is perfectly fine with me. Bad life advice redeemed. Best way to cool off from this unusual heat wave chat is getting today. Bad advice is to ignore what your body needs and wants. No. Yummy, my cat. He's doing just fine. Thank you for asking. Can you sculpt me with clay? If it's an artistic pursuit, who am I to say no? I guess I'll see you after the shower, Tingo. Nice, clean, and fresh. Enjoy and have fun. If I catch a coin, it's a 50% chance that it's either on head or paws, as you can see. You see, this is heads. It's my side profile. This is paws. Oh, of course. It's these things. Oh, did it die? I think it did. Second time that happened. Bye bye, Delta. Am I lonely? How can I be lonely when I'm graced with the presence of such lovely people? No, Axiom, it's not edible. This isn't the chocolate kind. No, the mystic needing popsicles, and 3 at that. What the amount to satisfy a girl like you? I like the watermelon flavor in particular. Oh, chat. You know, I might actually end my stream earlier than usual. My throat has yet to fully recover from that little coughing incident that my neighbor did to my face. Maybe I can make up for it by streaming again tomorrow. It's supposed to be my break day. Or I can just hang out with friends. I do miss being in proper, quiet, non-chaotic company. You should be worried if I start being quiet in a room. No, I was just tired at time, Axiom, and the energy that Wolf and the others were showing was a little bit much. I can handle one of you, Axiom, but 3? I'd sooner retreat to the mountains or a cave. Don't worry, Axiom. I still like your company all the same. Don't overthink things. I'll take heads this time. Are you ready, Mio? Flip. And result. Ah, it's like I won. But I wonder what the prize is. Welcome back, Diggle. Are you sure that was a shower? That was pretty quick. Connor. Not this time, Legoshi. Sure. If you say so, Tingo. Oh, you see, when I shower, I take my time.
Today is not the lucky day.
Looks like fortune favors me today, Mio.